Inspiring, impactful, and transformational. Welcome to Leadership Factory with Shoji Oluwale. Be transformed.
Welcome to Leadership Factory. I am Isoji Orale. In recent time, I was having a conversation with one of my cousins, and in their usual way of speaking, they talks in a way that can make you laugh sometimes or like joke. But in few of those things they were saying, like a comedians, you can pick some certain things and begin to think about it. So when we were having such a conversations, he said, where did white people or English people get the word poor or failure? He said, where did they get the word poor or failure or poverty if there is no poor people in those countries? And I laugh. And I laugh. It was very funny thought. And I said to him, I said, yes, there's poor people everywhere. And the only reason why we intend in this part of the nations to go to those nations is not because they have a better natural resources than us. The only reason why we're going there is because their environment are organized. Even when you are in some of their villages that are not as beautiful as your own village, but because such a village are organized, some of those village has light, and that is why we are moving. Especially in recent time, people are moving to those places, not really because they want to have comfortability, but because the exchange rate is the reason why people are moving. So they know that if they spend few years and they could be able to bring the money in and buy one or two buildings, start one or two businesses, and begin to live their life. That is the reason why those people were going there. So I will begin to discuss, and I think begin to, well, like, if there is no poor people there, or failure there, how would they get those words? And that brought me to the discussions of today editions of Leadership Factory. So we're going to be discussing about failure. We're going to be discussing about failure. There's a need for us to have a good understanding of failure. When you say somebody is a failure, when you say somebody, or when you are afraid to fail, maybe I should put it that way. Because one of the reasons that kept people in a sport that doesn't allow people to succeed or to do so many things in life is because they are afraid failure. You understand? They are afraid failure. So some years ago, I read a book from Sam Adeyemi. Sam Adeyemi, in that book, Success is Who You Are. In it, I learned that success, failure are events. They are not who you are. You understand? Or let's put it this way: failure is an event. It's not who you are. Who you are should be mentioned, or should be made rather, in the context of what God says about you. Who you are should be made in the context of what God says you are. So if you are going to approve success, if you are going to do something meaningful in life, you must understand that whatsoever you embark on, whatsoever you do, that sin, it does not bring in the desired goal, your end goal. You should understand that they are events, they are not who you are. So there is a need for us to understand failure. So when we understand failure, we could be able to maximize our strength. We could be able to learn our necessary strength, necessary lesson rather, that we need to learn from every event around us. Understanding failure is one of the most important aspects of growth, either in leadership, either in relationship, either in business, either in personal life. You see? So many people fear failure. Yes, I said it earlier. Many people fear failure, but in reality, failure is not the opposite of success. I don't know if you have heard that before. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the part of the journey to success. You see, the reason why many at times we think successful people has not failed before is because what they attempt to do, some of the things they attempt to do are bigger than what you imagine. So if they fail at it, you feel like, oh, when you are comparing it with what you dare to do, you feel like, wow, that person is a great person. You assuming to you just accord those people as a great people. What makes them great is because you see that they fail at that which is big in your eye or big in your heart. The same thing with you. If you attempt something big and you fail at it, when people hear your story too, they will think that you have three heads. That is what makes you to be able to attempt such a big dream or big goal. So what is failure? Failure is the inability to meet a set expectations, standard, or desired outcome at a given time. Failure is the inability to meet a set expectations, standard, or desired outcome at a given time. Now you see that these definitions actually tell you failure is an event. Is your inability to be able to gather 10 million naira you promise yourself that by August in 2025 you will have gathered. You now see that there's a different person entirely from you and that event. I usually use this analogy that if I set a goal to make 1 billion naira in a year, and somebody also set a goal to make 1 billion naira in a year, and I am working diligently to get the 1 billion, at the end of the year, I make 500 million, and the other person make 1 billion and some millions. But the route the person go through to make such money is rob the bank or break the bank or use any other means to get it. And what will you say to me? To many of us, we will say, I am not successful. Why? Because our value system is bad. Our value system is bad. Whereas the person has not achieved the goal. The person, okay, let me say the person has not achieved the goal. The person has achieved the goal, but it doesn't follow ethical ways. The person does not follow ethical way. The person, if you wanted to put it, the person is not successful. The person is a thief. The person is an armed robber. So you can now see that there is a difference between what we call failure and you. So you that follow the ethical way to achieve that, you have done your best. The only thing you did not meet up with your target. You have value to protect, the value of integrity, the value of honesty, the value of hard working. So failure should not be it's not something that should give you a stigma. It's supposed to be something that encourages you to do more. So, but failure does not always mean the end of things. Failure actually means a feedback. Oh, the pattern you use in following this thing you are trying to do, that is the not right path to use, or that is not the right method to use. You know, you can work mathematics and follow a particular methodology and arrive at a different answer, while your teacher tell you this is the method to use, and you use that method, you arrive at what that is what success simply. It simply means that you did not follow failure, rather you did not follow the right method. That is why you did not arrive at the appropriate answer. So you should have this understanding. When you have this understanding of what failure is, you could be able to stand and do all you need to do to have fun in life, despite of setback and the rest. Now, yes, what are the causes of failure? What are the causes of failure, or what are the causes that doesn't allow you to be able to meet your objective, your goal, your set goals? Because you have to be seeing failure in that line. What are the things that doesn't allow you to be able to meet it? First is distractions. It's distraction. In recent time, I did a video where I was talking about distraction. The reason why people are broke, the reason why people are ashamed, the reason why people could not contribute value is because they are distracted. So is lack of focus. So another thing is lack of preparations. We enter into tasks without adequate planning. Many times, as a result of the level of our exposures, level of our knowledge, we make decisions that are hasty, under pressure to make such decisions and the rest. And there are other external factors that make people fail. Take for instance, in business, economy downturn, government policy, unforeseen challenges, maybe health, maybe the person have health issue, maybe government policy come at the time it's supposed not to come, and all of these things can make people fail in some certain thing, either business or in their personal life. I've seen the last exam I wrote. I was in exam hall. I don't know what was actually happening to me. I felt like I should leave the exam hall. I was tired writing the exam. And not that from the first question to the end of the question, there is no one I did not know. There is not one. I'm in counseling psychology. Hardly I can sit in the exam hall in that field that even if I don't know anything, I will know something like about 60%. So that particular exam, it was just an application of computer in counseling psychology, or in guidance counseling. So I was in the exam hall. I felt like to leave the exam hall. I was tired. My hand were not like writing things. So there are a lot of circumstances that can make people fail things. That is not who you are. And I just told myself, I said, no, I have to sit and write this exam. I have to send signal to my brain. I have to let my brain know that this is important. We have to be here to do it. And I have to sit down, sit back and stretch myself, put myself together and write the exam. What am I telling you? I'm telling you that there are times you may feel even maybe sickness, your motivation, your emotions, and a lot of other things that doesn't allow you to achieve your set goal. That doesn't mean you are a failure. It's a circumstances that just happen. Many times it's as a result of fear and procrastinations. I do this in recent time regarding particular things I want to do. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Isoji, why you say I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it next tomorrow, I'm going to find time to do it. Lack of discipline, fear and procrastination, delay of avoiding crucial steps in getting things done. Another thing that causes failure, or that doesn't allow you, I don't want to even be using the word failure, that doesn't allow you to achieve your goal, your set goal, is lack of resilience. You give up quickly. You decided to to throw away the towel at the point of success. So these are the things that are responsible. So let me say a few things again. There are a lot of misconceptions, like I'll be saying, about failure. Some people think failure means you are not good enough, but that is not what failure means. You are good enough. What failure means is that the truth is that it only means that your method did not work. It only means the method you engaged in did not work. Let me say this again. Few misconceptions, which we have actually been discussing before. And I said, failure means, some people think failure means you are not good enough. I'm telling you today, that is not what failure means. Failure actually means, it means your method, the method you deploy in that, in try to achieve that goal is not, did not work, or is not good enough. That method is not good enough. Failure is not something permanent. Like I told you, failure is an event. It is an event that takes place. Failure is temporary if you learn from it. Every setback, that is why the motivational speaker will say, every setback is a setup for you to perform again. Every setback is a setup for you to plan and launch again. So failure is not final. Failure is not final. So it's a temporary stuff. Successful people never fail. That is what many of us think. We thought successful people never fail. The most successful people fail often, but they did not stop. And now, why many of us thought successful people doesn't fail is because we think in our own level. There are a lot of projects that successful people will embark on and losing money. But because we are not in their environment, we are not aware of those things, except they write it in a book, except they tell it in a story, except they share it in podcast. But because you are unacquainted with your own failure, you are unacquainted with the failure of people around you. That is why you always see that, oh, you and your friend are failure. It doesn't work that way. So there is a value that you need to learn from failure. Failures has value, and you need to learn it. Failures has value, and you need to learn it. The value of failure. Number one, learning tool. Failure is a learning tool. It shows you what does not work. Failure show you things that does not work. Like I said earlier, the methodology and the method that doesn't work. Failure show you those things, that this method, this and that does not work. Failure helps you to build your humility. It is a humility builder. It makes you humble. It lets you understand that life works on principle. It helps you know that everybody can become successful because it is on principle and on methodology. Immediately they get that methodology and principle, they can become one. It keeps you grounded. It keeps you humble. It keeps you humble. Failure train your strength. Yes, it's a strength trainer. It's a strength trainer. It helps you build resilience, persistence, and innovations. That is what it helps you to do. Failure helps you to have a rethinking. It helps you to have redirections. Sometimes failure is simply guiding you to a better path. To a better path. Take an instance, a footballer who intends to score goal. After he played 2-3 shots and he did not get to the goal, the attempt did not get to the post. Maybe it's over the bar or beside the bar, or keeper push it off, and it's such a player is still in that football match. You will discover that by the time you have the first, second, the third, he will score. Why? Because while he tried the shot the first, the second time, or the third time, the fourth time, he already learned that there is a certain position the keeper is taking that doesn't allow him to score. So he's going to put it in where he already learned during the football match that the keeper cannot take. So that is what failures help you to do. It redirects your path to the right method, to the right way that success can be achieve. How do you respond to failure? It is very important. You must learn how to respond to failure. You need to reflect. Ask what went wrong. Ask what went wrong. You see, reflect. After every setback, sit down, reflect. What went wrong? What are the plans that doesn't work? Why all of these things are like this? Ask what went wrong. Number two, learn. Learn. Identify the lessons in failure. What are the reasons why all of these things went this way? Identify the lessons. Learn it. Learn it. Number three, adjust. Change strategy, your mindset and resources before you try again, which is the last part. After you have adjusted your mindset, you have adjusted your system, you have adjusted your methodology rather, you try again. You try again. You don't sit back and be talking about what has happened 5-7 years ago. Even when you are talking about what has happened 5-6 years ago, you are talking about in a place not of total regret, but a place of motivation, a place of encouraging people, in place of letting people know you can still get back on your feet and do great things. So that is how you respond to failure. And you know, we have a lot of great examples of people who have failed and who are here again, who later fulfill their destiny. Even I wanted to use one of the critical examples that you may not like, but the fact that we did not accept that he did not make impact in our nation. But after he tried several times, our late president, General Buhari Mohammed, he tried to be president of Nigeria on several occasions. He failed. Either he was encouraged by a friend, according to the story, or he decided to try again by himself. He tried on several occasions and he get back to the power. He eventually achieved what he intended to achieve. Even if I, as a person, believe that it does not make a good impact in our nation after he become a president. But that is resilience. That is focus. That is discipline. You understand? So we have a great example, a lot of great example of leaders who has failed on several occasions, but they get back on their feet. Colonel Sanders, KFC founder, was rejected over 1,000 times before he succeeded. Over 1,000 times before he succeeded. That is crazy. That is crazy. But today, KFC is everywhere and is a great example for us. Now listen, as I wrap up, failure is not a verdict on your life or on your destiny. It is a lesson for your future. The difference between failure, who remains stuck, and those who succeed is how they interpret and how they respond to it. You must know success is who you are. Failure is an event. Failure doesn't have a verdict over your life. Success is who you are. You are born to succeed and you are what God says you are. This is how you should respond to failure. This is how you should understand failure, and the rest will become an history in your life. Till I see you next time in another episode of Leadership Factory. I am Isoji Orale. Thank you.